Hey everyone, welcome back. So, today I wanted to discuss and rant a little bit about card erratas in TCGs in general. Like, the most notorious one for erratas is Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, and I know for a good reason sometimes, but I wanted to do this kind of discussion and rant to tell you guys what I think about erratas in general, and I want you guys to tell me about what you think about errataing a card. Do you just prefer to be banned, or do you prefer to come back with an errata, or do you just prefer to make a new card that's similar to it and leave the old card for like legacy format or a unlimited format? So I know this type of topic will have a lot of opinions on it, so tell me in the comments what do you think about it, and let's get to the points here on what I think about card erratas. What opened me to think about this, because I saw there's a lot of people actually wanted to make card like Max C return to the game, but a lot of people also don't want to see Max C. For me, I see Max C as a healthy thing, because combo decks go ahead and play a lot as they please and make a board that you cannot, for example, stop. That just for me makes you don't want to play, or you just can't play. So your opponent just wants you to just watch it, unless you have like one Ash or one like Ghost Ogre or something to stop you from one move. I don't like that. I don't like that because decks these days can generate advantage so easily. Max C, in my opinion, at 3 is okay. OCG got the card at 3 and everyone plays it. In my opinion, you should not change that card. Why would you change that card when it's 3 at OCG? It happened with card like GiOh Guardian for no reason, and it was 3 in the TCG, 0 at OCG, or 1 at OCG. For some reason they gave it an errata and make it completely even useless. No one even was using GiOh Guardian. So let's talk about it here in a different perspective. So a card like this, the Chaos Emperor Dragon. Chaos Emperor Dragon is an iconic card. I hate it so much when they change an iconic card. This card got a 5 errata in the TCG. Let's just say they were not really an errata, more of a clarification of words, okay? The first one, they were like super clarified that it's cannot be normal or special summon, so they added that text and so on. But the errata that was really making the card basically useless became once per turn again, okay? And the second effect here, you cannot activate cards or effects during the turn you activate this. After you activate this, why? You made the card just so useless. Why would you do this? I don't understand it, okay? The problem with me, with a card like this, okay, I don't mind you do an errata, but if you are not gonna release a new card, the problem is they did an errata and after that immediately gone ahead and released Chaos Emperor Dragon of the Armageddon. You just could have released a card like this. You didn't really need to errata the old card, which is a iconic card. I don't like this type of errata. Leave the old card as it is, banned. If the game allows it at this time to return, make it return. If it doesn't, keep it banned, and that's it. Do not go ahead and errata a card that already exists. Are they just lazy? Do not make a new card. They make a lot of useless archetypes. So just make a card or archetype around a card or effect like this, and make an archetype around Chaos Emperor Dragon for example, and go ahead and balance it out. And a lot of cards got an errata like this. If you tell me they would go ahead and do an errata for Bot of Greed, I would be so annoyed and so triggered, to be honest. They made somewhat of an errata of it. Bot of Extravagance, Bot of Desires, Bot of Disparity. All these cards are what you call a spiritual successor to Bot of Greed. They still have their downsides, because they need to get a downside for a card like this. They exist in a different way, and this card still exists. This is an iconic card. Do not change or ruin an iconic card for the game. For example, people want something like Snatch a Steal to return. Just experiment. Return it for a format. People will play it. If it causes problem, return it to a ban. Just do not errata a card that is iconic, okay? For Max C, for example, people talk about. For me, I think Max C should return. It's either 3 or 0, okay? Or just never return it and let it stay as a banned card and create something similar to it with a similar type of effect. Why am I pissed about Yu-Gi-Oh! Errata type of deal? When I look at the other card game like Pokemon, for example, Pokemon do kind of errata but makes a new cards. Same as Bot of Extravagance, Bot of Desires. For example, we got a card that called Shaman EX in the past, an amazing card that had got an ability here that allows you, when you play this card from your hand, you get to draw up to 6 cards. This card was not once per turn. It caused a lot of problem now in expanded format. In the standard format, it was so good. This card reached it up to $50 per copy, and people played 3 to 4 copies per deck. So yeah, it was an expensive card. That's the reason, because it's not once per turn. Okay, it makes sense. This card was expensive, and it makes sense why this card was a problem. This card came out in 2015 or 2016 from what I remember. Yeah, this card stayed all the way up to 2020 until it got banned. The reason is because they released something similar to it but more balanced. So it's the same. It's a basic Pokemon that gave up 2 prizes. It's 2 prize Pokemon, still a little bit more HP, so it's a little bit more bulky, but it got the same type of ability, but you can only use one type of this ability per turn. It's a hard once per turn. In the past, we didn't actually have hard once per turn abilities. These type of once per turn abilities actually was introduced in card lock called the Dene. Yeah, release a new card with it. Like, you don't need to go ahead and like ruin the old card. The old card is just iconic to play for fun. For example, if you want something like Max C, for example, Max C says for each special summon, if you want to balance a card like Max C, like at least limit the amount of a special summon from the extra deck. Yeah, people will say, but that ruins the game itself. Actually, that slows the game a little bit. For example, let's talk about another card for Pokemon that they do. It's not an errata, but they gone around a card to just make the card return. For example, this card is called Wally. This Wally is a supporter. You can think of it as a hard once per turn spell card, but you can only use one supporter per turn. Okay, this card says you can search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves from one of your Pokemon that's not an EX. Okay, evolve that Pokemon onto that Pokemon on your field and shuffle your deck afterward. You can skip the first turn. You can play an evolution Pokemon, so it skips a mechanic of the game. Okay, because in Pokemon you can't go ahead and evolve the Pokemon in the same turn, so you need to wait for the Pokemon need to wait at least one turn. What people did with it, like gone ahead and played like card like Trevenant. So Trevenant here says if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play items. Item cards are basically normal spells card that is not once per turn by any means. As long as I fulfill the condition of the item cards, I can play items. That's why this card was banned and expanded, because it skipped the evolution. The problematic card here was Trevenant, okay, but it's not Trevenant also. It's that this card can be used in the first turn of the game. What did they do since Sword and Shield since 2019? They introduced a new rule, which is an old rule, reoccurring rule. That rule says we can't actually play supporters turn 1 of the game. You can only play item, Pokemon, or energy. So you can't play supporters. That this card is actually coming now to the expanded format next month, because yeah, the reason this card was expanded banned, because turn 1 you could have played a supporter if you go in first and go ahead and knock your opponent out of item cards for the entire game, unless they remove this Pokemon from the active position. This card now has no reason to become like banned, and this card was gonna boost a lot of decks, because this card, when it got banned, it actually hurted a lot of decks that just did not play actually Trevenant. The problem was in the rules. The first turn supporter. As much I like to play first turn supporter is actually really powerful over the top, because supporters gives you over the top effects. If you want to return a card like Max C, just change some rules about the game. I don't seem like the games get ruined if like 3 special summon per turn from the extra deck. Okay, you can special summon from the main deck as much as you like. If you still special summon 3 from the extra deck, you can still put 3 negations. Let's be honest, more than 3 special summons, it's just not healthy anymore. People just want to go ahead, put like 5-6 negates your opponent cannot play at all. You punish your opponent for not drawing a hand trap. In my opinion, even it's not about Max C, it's about the game itself. And for Yu-Gi-Oh, you need to slow it down a little bit. I feel like the game has gone too fast. I used to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh in 2016 and before, gone to regionals and stuff like that. It's just not good. The game has just gone too fast. I quit around Zoo era, and I thought Zoo was bad. It needs to slow down. The game is too complicated. First of all, like, the problem is this game have become like a really wall for new people to start entering and playing the game. Yu-Gi-Oh is doing okay. Until when it's gonna do okay? The whole playing on nostalgia, just nostalgia, is not gonna work. Pokemon is playable because it's accessible to everyone. It's slow. You can play for fun. The game is too fast. The game is too complicated with text. The game itself, people like the game itself, Yu-Gi-Oh itself, not any special kind of game, Rush Duel or Speed Duel or anything. People just want the regular duels to be more enjoyable, more fun. So you need to introduce limits, or do a format, like a main format that can people participate in tournaments. So this is, you call it a main format with the old crazy stuff, and make like traditional format or limited format. Okay, limited format, you can do specific certain things, and that's it. I think I ranted enough here. So tell me guys what you think about whole errata situation in the comments. Do you like erratas? Do you prefer the cards to be returned in a different type of text, or just make a new card and not being lazy in my opinion, or changing the rules to accommodate the changing speed and the power creep of the game? Yeah, if you like the video, make sure to like it, share it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone.